I tried the most popular chess variants, including duck chess, spell chess, and whatever this is. And I ranked these chess variants from blunder to brilliant. Sit back, relax as I take you through a journey involving ducks, spells, and hilarious blunders. For the first one, we're gonna try out duck chess. I played the Vienna, which is one of my favorite openings. After stopping the D pawn from progressing in the game of life, I developed my pieces and decided to be extremely annoying to my opponent by not only blocking the knight from developing, but also blocking the laser beam of the bishop. Then I had the brilliant idea to go for a scholar's mate. I ignored the pawn that he was marching down the board and instead delivered the beautiful scholar's mate, except that wasn't checkmate. Then I realized you needed to actually capture his king, but it didn't matter. There was no escape. Next, I show my brilliancy in spell chess. My opponent played e4 and I responded with the Caro-Kann defense. Instead of following the main line of the opening, my opponent played the Mexican wall. After opening up my opponent's king, I moved my queen forward to attack his king, ignoring his hanging pawn on g4. Then I froze the pieces around his queen and checked him. After blocking the check, I played the brilliant jump spell on knight e4, allowing my queen to capture the king, winning the game. Next, I tried the weirdest chess variant I've ever tried, pawn horde. The strategy with pawn horde is to get your queen or your other pieces behind all the pawns and take them from behind. So after trading off all my pieces for his pawns, I sacked the rook. This allowed my queen to come from behind and start taking all of his pawns, but the game was far from over. He started to push his pawns towards my king, hoping maybe to promote or even worse, checkmate my king. Despite the sheer amount of pawns my opponent had, he could not break through my iron wall of pieces. He continuously pushed his pawns and I kept on capturing them. After taking his last couple of pawns, I thought I won, except I stalemated. Apparently you win when you take all of his pawns, which is absolutely bull. In this next one, I show you how queens are really just pawns. Now you would think the plan of setup chess would be to do all queens, but that is the exact same trap my opponent fell into. While he was setting up his queens like pawns, I balanced power and safety, like the Magnus bot did after he beat Levy multiple times.
Okay, I'll back up. Yes, sir. Oh, crap. Oh, crap.
What my opponent failed to grasp was that I had cannon rooks that were aimed at his king, and the queens that were really just fancy pawns could do nothing to stop them. My opponent tried to immediately checkmate me, but he was too slow. After sacrificing a couple queens, I checked him before taking his remaining queens and his knight. Despite my obviously great skill in chess, it took an embarrassingly long time to checkmate him. Yay, my least favorite chess variant. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how giveaway chess works still. As you see, I was being absolutely manhandled by my opponent who is 2000 elo. After sacking his pawn, bishop, queen, and knight, it was my turn to sack my queen. Now I thought for sure I wasn't gonna win. I mean, I was taking all his pieces and I couldn't stop. Wow, that is the weirdest chess related thing I've ever said. Then I had a brilliant idea. If I could force him to take my king, I would win. So I brought my king forward, capturing his knight, and then I sacked my king, and I won, except I didn't. Apparently my opponent needs to take all my pieces, not just the most important piece in any chess game ever. And I lost to an unfortunate forced knight capture chain. Now this one, this one was pretty cool. I played the exchange variation of the Caro-Kann. I continued to develop my pieces as normal, and my opponent was playing very, very solidly. Then he placed the pawn he had captured, nearly trapping my queen. After moving my queen back home, I attacked his bishop, and then I defended against his surprise pawn attack before launching my own attack. That is, I would have launched my own attack, except my opponent accepted defeat and resigned. Now, as much as I'd love to show you what happened to this game, it was really boring, and the atomic chess game was also really boring because both games ended extremely quickly. So instead of showing you two very boring games, I'm just gonna show you these two games. I posted these two games as shorts, so I hope you enjoyed. I played e4, my opponent immediately responded with the Scandinavian defense. I played the main line and proceeded to immediately protect my king in case the queen moved to the e file. I continue with more or less the main line of the opening. You'll notice that my opponent is rated almost 2000 elo, so I had to play extremely smart to win. He then proceeded to capture my knight, which I immediately recaptured before playing some more moves. Now I want to fianchetto my bishop, so I moved my rook before I moved my pawn to g3, because I suspect that he also fianchettoed his bishop. I was right. After trading bishops, we then proceeded to trade rooks. Then I decided to take a gamble and play the brilliant knight takes c5. This caused my opponent to sack his rook and later his queen. I was sure I could win. One problem. He was basically 2000 elo. I moved my queen around not wanting to lose it. I thought that he had only pawns, but little did I know he also had a knight. He found my king and captured it. This one was pretty fun. He played knight f3, threatening to play knight e5, which immediately wins in forced explosion. I defended, my opponent attacks with his knight, forcing my king away. He sacrificed his knight, getting rid of the defenses around my king. I attack with my rook and he defends with his pawn. He checks me with his king before sacrificing his queen to take more of my pieces. Then I play knight e5, sacrificing my knight so then I can sack my rook to get a forced explosion mate. He refuses my sacrifice and instead checks my king. After he sacrifices his bishop, we push our pawns around until I push my rook to c4. He moves his bishop and I accidentally move my rook to the right. Then he moved his knight to b5 and I completely forgot he can sack his knight, leading to an explosion mate. So you see, we got brilliant and then we got blunder. We're gonna start off with brilliant. brilliant. Now, I've played this chess variant multiple times, and honestly, spell chess is amazing. I think one of the best chess variants that chess.com's ever released. You should definitely try out spell chess if you've never tried it before. After that, we got Fog of War, fan favorite. Plenty of YouTubers have tried this. And then we're just gonna go all the way to the bottom, and yeah, this is just the worst chess variant. Giveaway chess. As you see, there's no pieces on the board because you give away all your pieces. Most pointless chess variant of all time. The whole point of chess is to capture pieces, and you just give away all your pieces. It's just so sped. And now we're just gonna go back up to the top, and we're gonna do Horde. This was a really fun one because you get a lot of pawns that you just kind of throw at your opponent, or if your opponent you have to defend. And I don't know, it was pretty fun when I played it. You get to mold the board in whatever way you want, but you still have basic chess principles, so it's just the best of both worlds. Next we got crazyhouse. It was okay, nothing special. This is probably gonna piss some of you off, but duck chess sucks. I don't like duck chess. Atomic chess also sucks. If you disagree with me on any of these things, feel free to roast me in the comments or give your opinion. Honestly, check out the top 3 variants. Everything else I wouldn't recommend, but you can definitely try it out. But if you enjoyed this video and you really like chess variants, check out this video on screen where I play chess, but it's a circular board.